Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So we're back to the RS10 for more modding. Some of you may know I've got plans for a Jeep body for this, and I've been having a lot of issues racking my brain. Talked to my buddy, my puppers, left actually a message for another guy on another video, and then of course, you know, stuff happens in your dream world, right? And so after a lot of frustration last night, I decided the only way this is going to work right is I got to stop the travel of the suspension at a certain point. Because what was happening, I'll just grab the body here. My Jeep body, not completely done, so you're not going to get too much of a spoiler here. But what's been going on here is the bumper became a very big issue. I went to go test it yesterday at the falls, and I was going to cut some video, and you know, I started to have a great old little time. Everything seemed to be working right. So I got into a bit of a steep position where, of course, the suspension is going to articulate quite a bit. And my bumper was rubbing against the tire. I thought, oh, darn. So I come home, and last night I clipped the excess off because the bumper would curve around the side here of the body. Okay. So I thought, well, I need a bumper because you take the bumper off, it looks like garbage. I also wanted to make use of this big tire, but I'm not going to be able to because it's way too much weight. So I'm going to have to find a lighter version of that, or just go without, in which case I might just end up going without. So I clipped the ends off, and now the bumper still looks really good, so I'm happy with that. But I needed a way to stop the suspension travel so that it wouldn't completely bottom out. So this morning I come up with the idea of these valve covers for bicycle tires and car tires. Drilled the centers out, popped them in there, and it over restricted because the bottom of the base is going to be too wide, and to flip it the other way kind of defeats the purpose when I need it flipped this way, not facing down. So yeah, so toss that idea. That's done. Now I got a whole box of brass bushings here that I made for when I was modifying propellers onto the Lighthawk Charger boats. I was using the Lighthawk Challenger props, and to do that I had to make a bushing. So I thought, what are the chances I drilled the hole just right? Apparently I did. And so now when it comes to full articulation, this is totally going to miss my back bumper. Now it's only the back that I really need to be concerned about, but I'm going to restrict it all the way around just so that it keeps everything even. You know, my front, I don't want it, you know, contouring more than the back. Maybe I could be wrong on this, but I'm going to see how it reacts, and if I find that I can actually still crawl nicely without these little bushings in the front, I'll remove them. But until then, they're going to stay. The other thing is I had to put Traxxas preload spacer clips to give some extra compression to the spring so that it would keep the body up a lot more stable when it's at a resting position. And so I put those on all the way around. Front was not an issue. The rear was the issue because it was a very heavy body compared to even the truck bodies I've been using on this thing. And so I thought, okay, well, let's put preloads all the way around, and everything still moves good. It's still not going to hurt articulation. Now you do get a restriction in articulation because of the stoppers. You know, so you could actually make these and then fine-tune them. This actually turns out it's the exact perfect length that I need for stopping this Jeep body. And for anybody who wants to know the length of this thing, I will give you a little reading here. It is 10 millimeters long. The diameter of the shaft is 5 millimeter. The inside hole is 3.09 millimeter or 3 millimeter. I actually use a 3.8 millimeter drill bit, so by the time it's done drilling, it's okay, here it settles out, 3.08. So, but, so here's your measurements. So 3.08 for the inside, outside is 5 mil, with a length of 10. So, that's if you want to do this mod to your Redcat RS10, or you have another crawler that you want to be able to stop that body from smashing into it. I didn't want to mod the fenders because it would look garbagey after doing that. I've only seen one other guy on YouTube so far that has put basically, I guess it's a new bright body, I don't know. It looks like one, but it's a little different style at the back. His back is very much styled like my front, so there's no way it's going to crash in. So I'm pretty sure he's getting 100% articulation going on. I may look around for another body like that, but I like this particular body, so that's what I'm going to work with. And so we're going to put these in, and these are really super easy to install. Consider this a little bit of a how-to for you at the same time, for those that you may not know when you're new into modding. But just unscrew this. That comes off. And I just set it there so I know which direction the spring came off. I don't think it really matters on these shocks, but whatever. I'm going to just make sure I do it that way anyhow. Now, when you got it like this, where'd it go? When you got the shock like this, you can just actually take your pliers back up. Just squeeze on the shaft a little bit. Don't squeeze too hard, because I mean, you're screwing plastic into metal, so you don't have to hold it that hard, you know. And you don't want to mar the shaft either, otherwise it's not going to work right. So stay up as close as you can to the threads. And nice and snug. And there we go. So now we've got that on the go there. So put our spring back on. That goes on there. Voila. And then you can continue the assembly from there. Now, you're going to mess up, obviously, your heights and stuff doing this. I've actually monkeyed around with my shell a little bit, so I've got my rear height exactly where I want it. So I'm going to do my front, or this side here, exactly the same way. Now my front height, I'll check it and see how the body sits, and then lower it accordingly on the one side till this side sits even, and then continue on, and you know, always check the articulation that's going on. Now I use a set of dial calipers or digital calipers, sorry, for doing my heights. And you can just pick any spot at the back of the axle to whatever spot you want on the plastic collar here. So once you set one up, then you can lock it in place, turn a little screw there, lock it, and then set your other one exactly the same way. And then this way everything's going to be precisionally balanced all the way around, you know. And this way there's no guesswork, there's no, you know, being out by X amount on any sides and things go cockeye. So, you know, you want to make sure that everything's going to sit in there properly when you're done. But anyway, so we'll get this other screw back in here. And initially I'll start threading the nut on just like that by hand. Then I'll grab my needle nose pliers, because they're the only ones that fit in here right anyhow. Grip the screw, or the nut, and you want to make sure these are snug. And as a little tidbit too, Redcat or not, they're all in the same boat. Once in a while, check all your screws. I actually found out yesterday that my brace was really loose back here. This one was coming loose up here, because these are not held in with any kind of a Loctite or anything. And so you're going to want to make sure they stay snug, otherwise you'll lose screws and wonder, hey, why is my crawler falling apart? Anyways, so that's how you do that. So we've got two of them done, so I'm going to balance them out. So I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. So we'll turn her upside down. Now this is the side I already set up, so everything that's upside down is going to be the opposite. Now you don't need to have measurements as far as scale wise on the meter goes, but you do have to make sure that whatever side you pick and how you set this up, you do it the same on the other side. So I'm coming actually right to the very back end of the axle here, I know this is going to be a little difficult to see. Let me see if I can get you a little bit better view here. There. Okay, so I'm going to come right to the back of the axle on this side of it here. And then I'm just going to hold this here, push it up against there to the back end. Then I'm going to take this out. And then I got to go to the same side on the other one. And I'm going to have to move and adjust that so that this front touches there. And this one's already loosened off. So I've got to bring it back a little bit. And that looks good. Where'd my screwdriver go? There it is. Okay, so that's locked down now. So just double check it. Bazinga. As Sheldon would say. Dead on. There we go. That's how you set those up. Absolutely perfect. So pick one, pick a spot, you know, make sure it looks pretty good, and then lock it down on the one side to where you want it, and flip her over and do that. Now the fronts are going to have to be readjusted, so when I come back I'll show you exactly how everything's done. I still got to do the other two collars, but so far that's actually looking pretty good. So let's put the body on here for a quick minute. And let's test our rear end out and see exactly what's going on. So for this I'm going to put the clips in because I need the shell perfectly locked down. And our other side. Okay, so squatting down, not happening, not gonna bottom out. Into a full roll, got lots of space. You know, I could actually make those bushings just a little bit shorter, you know, but I think I'm gonna leave that like that because, you know, even as the rest of the body articulates, it's still going to be good. I got a good quarter of an inch of clearance, which is good. So we'll definitely have to try this out on camera, show you guys how it's working. Now, let's take a look at how the body's sitting right now, height-wise. This is something you just got to sit here and focus and eyeball it. And say, okay, what do I need to change? Right now I can see my front end's got to come down just a slight hair. A little bit more. That's all the way up. That actually looks pretty good, I'd say. Alright, so this is the one I'm going to lock down now. So now I know where my body's sitting on here. And I've been able to mark it by just tightening it back down. So now I know that's looking good. Yeah, that's looking pretty even. Looks all right. Push down, let it go back up. It's all the way up at a rest. That looks good. So now we know where the fronts have to be set to make everything still be even. So now we're gonna have to flip her. This one here is the one we're gonna work on right here. So this is one I got to set my gauge up to. And I'm going to take this one from the inside, like so. Right to the back of the axle body. Just like that. Okay. So, I'm going to end up disturbing this again, but my gauge is set, so now I can just set both of them the same as soon as I put them both together, and I'm good to rock and roll. Okay, so that's it for this part. I'll come back in a minute and we'll have her all done for you and show you how everything's moving. Right now the front end has got a fair amount of movement, so, but we're going to be restricting a little bit of that with the collars. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, I've got all of our little spacer bushings put into all 4 shocks. So body's back on, so let's do a little bit of an articulation test here on the table. So that's a full pull, and I am definitely just missing everything by probably around 1/4 of an inch at the back. The front, I still have plenty of clearance up front here. There's a better angle for you. Okay. So this should be good. Back squat, lots of clearance. Front squat, still got quite a bit of clearance, which is good. Now let's check out our other side here. Of course, the back end, good clearance. Front end, same thing, good clearance. Full twist pull. Looks like we're all good. So now it's just a matter of taking this thing out in the trails and see how well it still crawls with these restrictive pieces in place. Now, just judging by the rear end here, I'm at about I'd say 1/4 of an inch. I could probably, and I know this, but I want to try it first and see how it does run, but I could probably shave these down about half the amount. That would give me a little more articulation and give me just enough clearance. So I might end up doing that yet, but I got lots of these ones here to modify to make 4 good ones to swap them out and try. At least it doesn't take much to change this stuff around, you know. I was kind of glad I hung on to these things and I didn't throw them out, because they're perfect for these shocks, and they'll fit a variety of different shock sizes as well because of the hole on the inside for the shaft movement. And they just flop around loose up and down, and that's what you want. You want them to slide back down, and you know, so I guess we're going to end this video here because I do have to finish off the rest of the truck so that you can see it when it's done as far as all the cool stuff going into it goes. Paint job is going to end up probably happening over the winter time. First, I want to beat up the truck, get things tuned properly. I've done a lot of modifications to this truck so far. Just to give you guys an idea what I have done in case some of you haven't seen those videos yet. I put in Traxxas 2075 servos front and rear. I put in hardened alloy steering horns front and rear. Of course, our suspension mod here. I've taken the chassis braces or links and I put them to the furthest points going outward, okay, to give me a little bit longer chassis. What else have I done to this thing? Oh, well, the body, of course. I've got different bodies for this. I've got a total of, okay, I got this one here, and 1, 2, 3, including the original body, I have 4 other bodies that I can swap on and off this thing. But this is my favorite body, so, you know, I'm going to be using this one a lot, you know. I still have to clean up the windshield yet with some 1500 grit, and because that was from the acetone when I was getting rid of the New Bright name. because I can't get the New Bright name off of the side piece here, I'm going to wait until I go and paint the truck, and then I'm going to paint it, because I'm looking at, because I got an Army theme going, I'm going to do a camo paint job. You know, I'm going to do the fender wells, etc. I still got a lighting kit that I want to put into this thing down the road, so that's going to be part of the winter project. You know, the other change I've done was I went from stock tires, which I never got to use, didn't need to because I seen enough videos on them. I ended up with these G-Made Bighorns, and I love these tires. They're really nice. And if you have G-Made Bighorns and you want good traction, reverse the treads. Okay, just the same way I have them set up on here. That's the way you want it if you want some really good traction. Otherwise, they're kind of, they're not bad, you know, but they're really awesome when you reverse those treads. Running a nickel methyl hydrate 3800 mAh battery in this thing, and have been since pretty much the beginning. And I can crawl for a long time with this battery. So I'm not too worried about it puking out on me. And I have one other spare if I need it anyhow, so no biggie. Of course, we do have the body mod, and so far on the body we've got a little bed up here that we put on. Got some boxes, some fuel tanks, I guess you call these. I got a couple little Army guys there. I've got another Army guy that you're going to see as well, and a few other little things that I'm putting on this thing, so that's going to be a little more of a surprise. So you only get to have so much of a spoiler here, you know. But I'm sure I've got more mods to go yet. So we're going to try out on the trail. That'll be our next video. It's going to be our first trail run with this setup, with these restrictors in place. And if I find I do need to shave them down about halfway, like I said, it's going to still give me the clearance even if I take half that meat out. I just don't want to do it yet. I want to see how things progress, and this is how, you know, you need to do things, is try them out, see how they work, etc. So that's what I'm doing. So anyways, thanks for watching this vid. Now as far as the missing mirror goes, just before I go, I have one mirror here. I figure we're going to make this thing look like it was actually shot off. So I got a little bit of painting to do in there to make it look like it was shot off. Because I think that would work really well. Unless I do find another set of mirrors. I still haven't gone through my junk collection yet, so we'll see. Anyway, so there you go, and let me know what you guys think so far, and I'll catch you in the next video.